My sisters and brothers, the Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to Luke. The apostles said to the Lord, "Increase our faith." The Lord replied, "If you have faith the size of a mustard seed, you would say to this mulberry tree, 'Be uprooted and planted in the sea,' and it would obey you. Who among you would say to your servant who has just come in from plowing or tending sheep in the field, 'Come here immediately and take your place at the table'? Would he not rather say to him, 'Prepare something for me to eat. Put on your apron and wait on me while I eat and drink. You may eat and drink when I am finished'? Is he grateful to that servant because he did what was commanded? So should it be with you. When you have done all you have been commanded, say, 'We are unprofitable servants. We have done what we were obliged to do.'" The Gospel of the Lord.
Good morning, everyone. And again, welcome to Blessed Sacrament. Thank you for being here today as we gather to praise and worship our God and to support one another on our journey of faith as disciples of Jesus. So welcome, and thank you for being here with us today. As I mentioned at the beginning of our Mass today, we're called to reflect upon a word that has been part of our discipleship since we were little, part of our faith journey, and that word is faith. How many times has someone told you when you're going through something difficult, have faith? I want to do good on this exam. I want to, get that A. Have faith in yourself. My daughter is sick. Pray to God, have faith. So we hear that word so often on our faith journey. And I'm sure that each of you, as you were listening to the first reading today from Habakkuk, could relate to what is being said. Because each of us has had experiences, moments in life where we feel lost, or we feel abandoned, or we feel that the world is caving in around us. I mean, we've had those moments. And so those words from Habakkuk today should resonate with us. Imagine, I'm sure that all of us could say that we have said this to God. "How long, O Lord, I cry for help, but you do not listen. I cry out to you violence, but you do not intervene. Why do you let me see ruin? Why must I look at misery? Destruction and violence are before me." How many times have we experienced these emotions? How many times? And what is our response? What is our response? Faith. The word faith in Greek means trust. Pistis. Pistis. P-I-S-T-I-S. Pistis. That's the word for faith in Greek. And it means trust. It means trust. And then hope comes. The Lord answered and said, "Write down the vision clearly upon the tablets so that one can read it readily. For the vision still has its time, presses on to fulfillment, and will not disappoint. If it delays, wait for it. It surely will come. it will not be late. The rash one has no integrity, but the just one, because of his faith, shall live. When we are in the midst of those moments when we feel that the world is caving in all around us, things are not going our way, the cross seems unbearable and heavy, we have to think beyond those moments and to say, my time will come. God's vision for me and his plan for me will eventually appear. I have to keep thinking about that. And that the time will come when he will reveal to me what he wants me to do or why I went through those experiences. For instance, before COVID, I went to Lourdes. And I love Lourdes. It's a very special place. And I went for 4 days with a couple priests. And every time I go to Lourdes, I volunteer to hear confessions. And so I signed up to hear confessions in English and Spanish. And, people from all around the world come and they line up. All the priests that are there hearing confessions. So one day in the morning, I signed up. And I went to the one of the beautiful churches above the grotto where Our Lady appeared to Saint Bernadette. So I walked in, and much to my surprise, no one was there. And anyway, I said, well, I'm going to pray for a little bit before the people arrive. So I sat down in a pew, and across from me was a lady, probably in her late 50s, and she was praying in a way that to me exuded love, peace, and joy. That I saw in her face something absolutely amazing, something that many people would want to experience in prayer. And it was, enigmatic just to see her. So anyway, I prayed for a little bit. People started coming for confessions, and I heard confessions probably for 3 hours. After I was done, I went down to the grotto to pray before the place where Bernadette received the image of our Blessed Mother, her apparition. And then I turned around and I saw that lady who was in the chapel. And she was pushing a young man, probably 16, in a wheelchair. And then behind her was another man wheeling about another boy, probably maybe 19 or so. And I looked around, she saw me, and she was from Italy. She spoke good English. And she said, "Oh, Father, weren't you the priest I just saw earlier?" I said, "Yes, and you're the one that was praying." And I said, "How beautiful that you're here as one of the many people who volunteer to help the sick and to, take them from one place to another, like many of the volunteers that are there." And she said, "I'm not a volunteer." I said, "You're not?" And I said, "So who are these?" To this young man. And she said, "That's my son." And then she said, "This is my husband, Father." And I met him. And I said, "Oh, nice to meet you." And she said, "This is our other son." And I asked her, I said, "What happened?" She said, "Oh, they've been sick, Father, since they were in their early teens. I forgot what disease they had." And she said, "We've been caring for them all this time." And I said, "It must have been hard." And she said, "That's the understatement of the year." And so I asked her, I said, "I would have never never in my life, as I saw you praying this morning, ever thought that you were experiencing these things. Because on your face, I saw joy, peace, and love. And she said, oh, it didn't start out that way. She said, I was mad. I was angry at God because of what happened to my 2 sons. Both of us were, my husband and I. And she expressed the feelings that she had when this started. And they were the feelings that I just read to you, the feelings that all of us share and have experienced as well. We're angry. God, why are you doing this to me? The world's caving in around me. What am I going to do? And then she said, finally, God opened my eyes. And she said, one day, like the reading says, the time will come. She said, one day the time came when the Lord revealed to me something great, to trust in Him. And that He would give me all that I needed to be a good wife and mother and to do all I can or could for my sons. And so it came, but it took a while, but it was not easy. That's faith. That's faith. This is the faith that Jesus is talking about today. So if you're going through something difficult, my brothers and sisters, if you feel that the world is falling around you, you're going through a hard time, reflect on those last words of our first reading today. The time will come. My plan for you will come. My vision for you will unfold. But have faith, have trust that that time will come. And so the story that I shared with you is a beautiful example of exactly what Jesus is telling us we must do. And that time will come. Amen.